by Colombia's socialist president, who is already very unpopular amongst his people. His denial of these flights has jeopardized the national security and public safety
Our
of the
story
United
begins
States. So I
here.
have directed my administration to immediately take the
Once
following
upon a
urgent
time, in a
and
peaceful
decisive
village,
retaliatory
lived a
measures.
flock
And
of
he also,
carefree
just
lambs.
shared that information
In the day, they
so
toiled for food, and when evening fell, they sought refuge from the looming threat of wolves. Fables, stories told and retold through the ages. The ancient art of conveying hidden truths through fiction. But they always draw from real life, don't they? The same story gets told by many, and each person brings their own spin, their own focus. Whatever you learn from it is just one of countless different interpretations. Like us now, caught in a carefully crafted plotline, a scheme I had no hand in. This village marks the beginning of my story with Jinzhou. So that magistrate led you here to meet me. Such a clever move on her part.
We are learning about a disastrous phone call that took place recently between Donald Trump and Mette Frederiksen, the Prime Minister of Denmark. Donald Trump re-emphasized that he wanted to conquer Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. He said he was serious, hand it over right now, to which the Prime Minister of Denmark said, no, it belongs to us, to which Donald Trump said, we'll see about that. Multiple people who were familiar with this phone call said it was an utter disaster.
One day, a
that
shepherd
Donald Trump
visited
was
the
rude,
village. The shepherd brought them promises of abundance and protection. The lamb, nope, quite the opposite. The shepherd's arrival is only the beginning. With a wave of his hand, the shepherd could grant their every wish. His flock obeyed, bowing their heads, pleading for better food and shelter. They no longer had to struggle for survival, as their once meager lives were replaced with endless luxury. The flock worshipped their shepherd-turned-god, praising him and holding him in the highest regard. What's wrong? Does my story make you uncomfortable? Imagine you were one of those lambs, facing irresistible temptation and pressure from your peers. Wouldn't you bow down and beg for food from your master? Oh, so we agree already. You are right. But the world we live in falls short of our ideals. The shepherd still reigns, and the lambs have grown complacent. It's up to the two of us to make that ideal world a reality.
Oh my God.
Yelling that he was trying to bully the Prime Minister of Denmark, that she stood her ground. But anybody who was on that phone call that thought, oh, this is some negotiation ploy by Donald Trump, they left that call saying, no, Donald Trump intends to try to use military force against Denmark, and Denmark and the European Union need to now prepare their military to try to counter whatever the hell Donald Trump thinks he's going to do. This, as Donald Trump has continued to reiterate that he wants to annex Canada, turn it into the 51st state, or else he will impose severe punishment on Canada. Donald Trump has turned the entire world in just one quick week against the United States of America. America finds itself literally right now with zero friends. If you take a look at the World Health Organization map showing all of the nations that are part of the WHO, you'll see that the United States is the only nation, maybe there's two others, Iran and one other, that that are not part of the World Health Organization, and that basically sums up where America is in the world right now. Alone, detested, despised, as the entire world stands in unity in different alliances against the United States. Whether you have a Russian-China alliance against the U.S., whether you now have Canada, European Union, and other countries against the United States, whether you have South American unity against the United States, Latino immunity against the United States. What a disaster this is. Let's just take a look at this article. This one's, for example, from the Financial Times.
I should try to smile
Donald
more,
Trump
you say.
in fiery call with
Like
Denmark's
this?
Prime Minister over Greenland. U.S. President insists he wants to take over the Arctic island. It said that Donald Trump insisted that this was serious. He wants to conquer Greenland. He had this phone call with Denmark's Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen. She's the Danish premier. For the call lasted about 45 minutes. The White House has not commented on the call, but other people who are familiar with the call have described what went down. Donald Trump said, "I want it." She goes, "Okay, it's not for sale," and said, "We understand that that's what you're interested in, but we're not giving it to you. It belongs to us. It's part of our kingdom." 5 current and former senior European officials who have been briefed on the call said the conversation went awfully. They added that Trump had been aggressive, confrontational, and just outright rude following the Danish Prime Minister's comments that the island was not for sale, despite her offer of more cooperation.
May I pray for anything? May I pray for anything specific for you?
So
It would
the
be
Prime
my
Minister
honor.
met Frederiksen. She was trying to be nice. He said, "Look, we're always down to improve our alliances and to strengthen our relationships." But this is how people described it went after she said that. Quote, "It was horrendous," said one of the people. Another added, "He was very firm. It was a cold shower. Before, it was hard to take it seriously, but I do think it's serious. I do think he is serious and potentially very dangerous." The details of the call are likely to deepen European concerns that Trump's return to power will strain transatlantic ties more than ever, as the U.S. president heaps pressure on allies to give up territory. You realize, even as I read that sentence, as he heaps pressure on allies to give up territory? Who the hell does he think he is, this freaking treasonous? As I can talk about it. Trump has asserted in his second term musing about potentially taking over Greenland, Panama, and Canada. Great job, everybody in America who voted for this guy. You got your own Vladimir Putin, who is absolutely despised and hated by the world. And by the way, we now have 0 allies in the
All
United
the
States
world's a
of America
stage.
in 1 quick week.
And we are
As our
mere
neighbors of
players.
Northern Canada said, "It feels like we're living above a meth lab," is what they've told me. Many European officials had hoped his comments about seeking control of Greenland for national security reasons was a negotiating ploy to gain more influence over the NATO territory. Russia and China are both jostling for position in the Arctic, but the call with Frederiksen has crushed hopes, deepening the foreign policy crisis between NATO allies. Quote, "The intent was very clear. They want it. The Danes are now in crisis mode," said one person briefed on the call. Another said the Danes are utterly freaked out by this. A former Danish official said, quote, "It was a very tough conversation." He threatened specific measures against Denmark.
Let's
such as
reach farther
targeted tariffs.
destinations
The
together.
Danish Prime Minister's office said it did
Why
not
hesitate?
recognize the interpretation of the conversation given by anonymous sources. Greenland, home to just 57,000 people, is an entry point to new shipping routes gradually opening up through the Arctic. It also boasts abundant but hard to access minerals. Well, why are these ship routes now opening up around the Arctic? I don't know, maybe because of something called global warming as well. Then it goes and says that Trump is demanding that he conquers it, he's threatening to take it over. Now, I want to share this with you. You've seen this clip, but it's, I think, appropriate in this context right now. Here's how the people of Denmark are feeling. This is Anders Vitsjen, a Danish member of the
Let's
European
reach farther
Parliament, offering
destinations
this
together.
blunt message to Donald
Why
Trump
hesitate?
about his obsession to take over
Why
Greenland.
hesitate
Play.
if you know what you want?
President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800
Let me be there
years.
for everyone.
It's an integrated
As we
part
head,
of
let
our
me.
country.
Why hesitate
It
if
is
you
not
know
to
what
say
you want?
Mr. Trump, fuck off.
New year, new gutters. Because if I'm investing in one thing this year, it's protecting what matters most to my family, which is our new home. And so, whether you're tired of free gutter inspection, Fox visited Greenland and was shocked to discover that contrary to
I
what
should
they
try
were
to
told
smile
by
more,
Trump,
you say.
most people on the island don't want to become part of the United States. Let's play it.
And the hot topic here has been President-elect Trump's comment about buying this Danish territory. Take a listen.
A lot about Trump and also their opinion about Trump.
I hate it. And basically, I don't know what he's aiming at.
Me personally, I want to stick with Danish government.
Well, most of the people that we talked with said that they did not support Trump's comments and found them offensive.
But
Why
the MAGA
hesitate if you know
Republicans,
what
the
you
House of
want?
Representatives and the Senate
Let's reach
continue to
farther,
say
just
that
let me
this
be
is
there
our
for
manifest
everyone.
Let's
destiny.
reach farther.
Why
America,
hesitate
we
if
are
you know what you
predators,
want?
is what they say. I'm not
I
making
should-
this up. This is, for example, Andy Ogles, MAGA Republican. He's the one who introduced the resolution, or introduced a proposal to make Donald Trump a dictator for life within the first week and to amend the Constitution. He and other MAGA Republicans are out there saying this. America, they go, we are the dominant predator, so we need to impose
Let me be-
ourselves over others. Just watch it.
You recently introduced a bill. It gives President Trump the congressional authority to acquire Greenland. Tell us more about this.
Well, for some that may sound a little bit crazy, but actually the United States has been
Tornado
eyeing,
makers,
Greenland
dimension
for
warping
over 100
lamps.
years.
I've got all kinds of
Strategically,
props
when
if
you
you're
look at
interested.
it's wealthy in resources, and when you see increased activity with Russia and China in the Arctic Circle, and the increased activity with the shipping lanes, it's important for the United States to assert itself and say, look, this is our doorstep, this is our area of operation, and we are, quite frankly, the dominant predator, cop, if you will, but it's important that we fight back against China and send it back their own hemisphere.
And just so you go, oh, well, that's just, you're just showing me Ogles, Ben. Show me
The show
someone
begins.
else. Okay. Well, here is MAGA Republican Brandon Gill, and he says that the golden age of America means that it is our manifest destiny. We need to take over these nations. We need to acquire them. We need to own them. Here, play this clip.
Yesterday, Trump was asked if he'd rule out using military force to get control of Greenland and the Panama Canal, and Trump would not rule that out. How would acquiring that land help everyday Americans better afford their day-to-day expenses?
Well, first of all, Brianna, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Listen, President Trump is bringing us into a golden age of America. This is the new manifest destiny. Reacquiring the Panama Canal, acquiring Greenland, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. This is the light of America expanding. We have a very clear strategic interest geopolitically, both in Greenland and in the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal, as you know, was created with the blood, toil, tears, and sweat of American citizens. We put an enormous amount of money into it.
The lambs reveled in endless bonfire parties, celebrating their new god every night, except the one little black lamb. As each night passed, it was the only one to notice how its flock was dwindling away. Rover, do you think someone would give you what you want without taking anything from you? I once believed that too. Thought as long as I paid a high enough price, I could get my desired outcome. But true equality is scarce, always has been. The world was never a fair place. Wouldn't you agree? To receive equal retribution, one must give more, and more, and more. When every wish comes with a hefty price, people weigh their options carefully. when they can make someone else bear the price, they all rush to make more wishes. They don't consider they too may one day pay for another's selfish desire. Funny, isn't it?
If you say so.
Alright, we sound good. Okay, so according to this lady, the way we live in the United States is not normal. It's go time. Buckle up, baby. Let's see what she's got to say. Love the haircut.
The way we live in the United States is not normal. Now, I'm not exactly sure when it happened, but it became crystal clear to me that something is wrong with the United States. And when I say this to people, they nod knowingly. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the United States. I love living here. But
damn right. Someone's finally talking sense on the TV. There's always a but, though. Always a but. But we don't want to downplay. We do love our country. I like to say it like this: America's kind of it's like our kid, right? We love our kid. There's a little disappointed. Just a little bit. Anyways,
sometimes I do think of leaving. I think it could be better somewhere else. And thanks to many of you commenting on my videos and suggesting places, I've done my research, and this is how I came about this video. I would love to hear your input. One thing I've learned years ago about the U.S. is there is a lot of helplessness. People don't think twice about spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a college education. In other parts of the world, it does not cost that much. What do they think about starting a GoFundMe campaign to help offset their health insurance costs because their insurance is not covering them? Or how about to tip a person before you have a coffee because they're multi-millionaire or billionaire employer can't seem to pay them enough wages? Well, in other parts of the world, it is not expected to tip. And the owners are not really well. Drop a research.
yeah, the tipping thing's a bit much. It really is, actually. Just getting a little out of control. I used to work in the restaurant business. I mean, you're just basically going, I hope they tip me. I hope I make enough to live this month. I mean, I kind of feel the same way doing this for a living, too. But, think about that. Basically, like, you're already paying, say, $500, $600 with health insurance. You're at the hospital, and they go, yeah, this isn't covered. Sorry. What do I do now? You try to go money? No. Tip jar's right here. But hey, it's a real thing, dude. It's pretty crazy. But it is crazy to think, though.
Discover there's places in the world where people are not charged that. They have a time where they don't have to worry about starting a side hustle. And I began to realize we don't have to live this way.
The one plugin that I want to showcase
Shit. Advertisements. Classic. Anyways, I love this lady's stuff. Look at how old school this is. Housing and livability. God, it's awesome.
One of the things is helping and
The show begins.
Here in the United States, we have success with really large homes. Versus Europe and Asia, they have smaller homes due to historical and cultural differences. Not to mention, you have the higher cost of living with the larger homes, higher utility bills, taxes, maintenance, versus the smaller, more convenient homes. And larger homes consume more energy, and the smaller homes are more better for the environment. However, I have been noticing a trend among us seniors where minimizing and downsizing seems to be trending, where we're starting to wake up and realize we don't need these huge homes to live happily and become house poor. We can have...
There's actually a big one. You guys understand one.
Stop, Aslan. Stop, Aslan.
It's kind of awful, especially if you want to stay in America. options, you know? Because even if you wanted, like, let's say you wanted a smaller home, they don't really build them. Those are called apartments, right? Then the apartments, you never really own them. It's like a catch-22, but it is bizarre to think that like, it's not the seniors are like going to live in a minivan, but it's still kind of crazy to think that it's like, I know what I'm doing. I'll just live in a fucking Winnebago. Wow, it's crazy stuff.
These smaller, more affordable lifestyles, even if we can afford a larger home, we're tending to downsize, and I'm absolutely loving it.
I love those cool titles.
Another topic is work and retirement. Here in the United States, working 40+ hours a week is almost like a badge of honor. And for many, it's a necessity to have one.
The show begins.
Working well into our 60s and 70s. Compared to other countries like the Netherlands and Germany, they have a work week around 35 to 38 hours with lots of time off for vacation and holidays. And they can still afford to retire successfully. They do not need to work late into their 70s if they have the money needed from working.
So, hey, you know what's crazy is like in some places, I guess in Europe, I've never been there and experienced it, but they have these things called siestas. It sounds like a party.
Later,
but siestas
the
like,
shepherd openly blamed the black lamb for the flock's decline.
Some of you are like, lunch break, dude. Please. They do like 2 hours.
On the next day, the white lambs welcomed the rising sun as usual, but the black lamb was nowhere to be found. The shepherd introduced an unspoken rule to this village. One that our black lamb violated by telling the truth. Suddenly, the once doting god stopped fulfilling wishes because no more sacrifices were being made. After witnessing the black lamb's actions and hearing from their almighty shepherd, what do you suppose the white lambs did? Ah, those oblivious lambs. Little did they know the most fearsome demon was right under their noses.
Support financially, but he supports with his words, and that still means something to me, and I appreciate it.
No, the problem with sports betting to me are two. Number one, most people think that they understand sports and sports betting. You don't. Okay, you may understand, the over-unders, the points, and all that shit. You don't know what you're getting into. A small percentage of people are genuine experts at things like fantasy football. Genuine experts are extremely rare. You don't know shit. You think you do know shit because you've been sitting on the couch for 35 years getting fucked up on Sundays watching football. There goes the house. And the other side effect which we're seeing right now is every game is in question now. Every game is suspect. Is every game rigged? Just some of them. This is what happens when you get into bed with fucking gamblers.
Yeah. You know,
Yet another reason to never watch sports again.
me, so it is what it is. Oh, that's all they do is level down. That's all they do. They just like my exes. All them leveled down. We leveled up every single time. I made videos about it. These people want to pretend like they didn't see everything I put on camera. I mean, it's just weird.
Yeah, the furthest I went into sports gambling was buying a square at a pool at work, you know?
Want to talk to me?
That kind of stuff's pretty innocuous until you start getting up there.
Like I'm lacking something. I have a girlfriend that's gonna be my wife. Like, I'm settling down for real. That's what's coming. I mean, what I'm asking is, how is that confusing? You know, I mean, it's not confusing. It's just that people want to act like they're confused. They want to try to talk to me some way. Well, it has to be real. I mean, you can't just,
The show begins.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm not.
Why does it have to be real? You're not reality-based at all in any way.
Putting up with no more of this verbal stuff. Like, you need to watch your mouth. All of you. Yeah, you need to watch how you're talking, because it's getting real old. You're doing it on purpose. Okay?
Indeed, Blue Devil, speaking of fantastic, I can't wait for the remix.
And they've been doing it on purpose, and they've been doing it for long enough, and it ain't happening no more. Well, I'm gonna stand up for myself. I'm getting tired of that. Okay? Now, you're trying to verbally come at me instead of talking to me the right way. You're gonna talk to me right. No, I'm not defenseless. I'm a grown man, and I don't play that. You're gonna respect me. There's no reason why anybody should talk crazy to me. You know what I mean? I'm the last one anybody talks crazy to if you want to be realistic.
Would that not be hysterical? It certainly would be. Though, let me see here. We're making as he will.
What the hell happened over here? Okay, this is crazy. Not my problem.
Alright, dinner has been ordered, so here is what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and finish what we're watching now, which you can see on your screen. I'll read it anyway. We're watching Christina and I are in love, and I can get $1,000 bonus. We'll finish this. This won't be the end of the show, but when my food gets here, we're going to go unattended. So that will be happening probably within the next 15 minutes or so. We got a fair amount of show left, so everything's good here.
Does that make you feel better about yourselves to say fake stuff? Just wondering.
I'm actually thinking I may have streamed this earlier, but for our purposes today, this week.
That's what they do. They have fake conversation. Like you care. They talk about concepts that don't exist. Damn. You can tell you ain't got no money. They're talking. You can tell they don't have any money. But yeah, they stay leveling down, man. That's all they ever done. Stay leveling.
They stay leveling down, and he's coming to you live on that day from a men's room at a gas station.
No, we stay winning.
Defining leveling down, by the way.
Real talk. That's the truth.
And it doesn't.
I mean, let them all do what they do. I don't care. I don't care what anybody's talking about. I don't care what anyone have to say.
Yeah,
So, when you're wasting your time like
unless something truly exceptional happens, like we're crashing the shit in, the repetitiveness, it's hard to deal with, yet I choose to deal with it.
that every day, it's only just showing my power. That's all. It's just showing that I got power. You know, there's a lot of people on here, they want you to go back and forth with them, but that's not a way of approaching you. I'm the boss here, man. I won. I got all the money. Like I said, we more than likely gonna get this $1,000 bonus. Straight up. So what you have to ask yourself is, I mean, are you all really in control? I mean, are you really? Do you feel in charge? I've given you a large sum of money, and this gives you power over me. Come on, man. About to go all out bang with y'all is what y'all don't get. Y'all do realize I got the Bane mask, right?
And he has trotted that out a couple of times recently. I think, at least I think, that it was recently. He has had a habit as of late of boosting old material.
Real talk. I'm cleaning up the Bane mask. I might come out as Bane and surprise y'all. I'm
The
thinking
show
of doing some kind of
begins.
studying him and stuff. Like, I want to know more about Bane and how he talks and how he operates. You know what I mean? I'm thinking of going into character as Bane. I think it'd be exciting. You know what I mean?
You're thinking of going into character as Bane. You believe yourself to be Batman, yet you're not nuts. Gotcha.
But we're never going to stop being Batman. Of course, it's the real thing. But, you know, there's different approaches to everything. And see, the thing is that my mask is made out of carbon fiber. So it's actually protected.
Your mask was punched out of a plastic sheet.
So what would you say about that? Would you try to talk down on that mask as well?
Oh.
How would you talk down on me if you're below me? Just asking. If you're not in my position, how would you say anything?
Yes, it is. The Bane mask is not a Bane mask at all. It is, in fact, a paintball.
None of these people are public speakers. They're not monetized. They have no money. They can't afford a hot dog. And you're online concerned about little old me. For what? Why would you think that you're going to move me if it's been proven you can't? Why are you talking and pretending you're talking in the third person and to each other if you're actually not? You're trying to get me to see things. To see what, exactly?
Oh, please tell me that's the truth, nigga.
If you have something to say, just say it direct. But you don't. Okay, then just be quiet. It's not difficult. Go. Oh, hell no, bro. Don't ever compare me to those difficult men. That's modern day slavery. You serious? I don't stand anything like that. Tall and strong, man. Neither one of them is as strong as me. You know that.
Alright, everybody. I'm gonna try to read this one because it's so... Man. Ace, you suck. You fucking suck, dude. I'll read this for the listeners. Cashless Pain Records CEO Giant stands tall and strong, like LeBron James and Kobe Bryant Slash. Straight from the valley, Edwards with a Z, couldn't survive the streets or the alleys. Boss the Batman, one-man army. Go fuck yourself.
Think they could do what I do? They ain't close to my strength level work.
I'll be going to find it as soon as I'm done here.
And no, I'm not from the valley. Never claimed to be from the valley. No. But it's alright. I like Ace because he supports me. You know what I mean? I don't mind that. But I'm just gonna correct you so that you know.
Yee. Indeed. Yee.
And LeBron James, bro. LeBron James is weak. Straight up. He ain't strong. He's weak.
Well done. You didn't let any details slip. Now, I wonder, what is your takeaway from this story?
Is it really?
Answer me and I'll reveal the truth of what happened. Who was the real culprit behind the diminishing number of lambs? Indeed, the direct culprit was the shepherd. He held all the power, fulfilling wishes at a price. The lambs knew the risks, yet succumbed to temptation. Unfortunately, in the face of such temptation, they disregarded all the hidden risks, as disaster had yet to befall them. If they were given another chance, I believe they would still choose the same path. Inevitably, they accepted their fate and paid the price when their time came. Now, my second question. What price did the lambs pay for their wishes? Of course, as always, life was the most valuable thing they had to offer. Here's my final question. What happened to the black lamb? Don't rush, Rover. Take your time. What is the truth you've uncovered?
The shepherd was granting wishes by sacrificing the lives of lambs. The flock found out the truth, but chose to be his accomplices, and they willingly offered the black lamb as another sacrifice.
That's right! Little lambs cowered and huddled in their village, terrified of the relentless wolf packs. Until a shepherd arrived, bearing the gift of wishes and providing shelter and sustenance. Slowly, the shepherd gained control over the flock, and the lambs lived contented lives. But this is not the end of our story. The shepherd found the solitary black lamb in his flock and offered to grant any wish it desired. In exchange, he wanted one of its companions as a sacrifice. The black lamb refused, and it was shunned by its flock, left without shelter or sustenance. After the Black Lamb's exile, more lambs continued to vanish. The shepherd then blamed the Black Lamb for breaking the rules. He withheld his wish-granting power as punishment. From the very beginning, the lambs knew the risk of making wishes. They too could become sacrifices for those of others. But they always believed it wouldn't be them. Meanwhile, some lambs reasoned that since they had already risked being sacrificed for someone else's wish, it was then only fair to pass on that risk for a chance at fulfilling their own desires. So they continued to play the game. They all knew the consequences, but chose to remain silent. Fearful, yet greedy, they followed the shepherd's orders and made wishes again and again, until one day, a brave black lamb spoke up, shattering the flock's facade, their illusion of a peaceful and happy life. Black lamb got in their way, and that of the shepherd's greedy pursuit, sparking hatred in their hearts. Suddenly, they could no longer ignore the blood and ashes of past sacrifices littering the ground. How do you like my story, Rover? What really happened here? I suppose you already have it figured out? The black lamb who rebelled against the rules, the white lambs who succumbed to their greed. The innocent maiden sacrificed, and the villagers who turned on each other in a ruthless frenzy. They had it coming. All the shepherd had to do was execute the rebel.
Welcome, everybody.
That's how he kept the
Yesterday-
flock in check and maintained the status quo. Fun answer, but no. Not even close. I was never the shepherd. Never will be. You and I, we are the Black Lamb. The one who breaks the rules. Interesting,
Oh my
Rover.
god.
I'm liking you more and more. Well then, let's see if this Black Lamb is going to end up like you say.
Let's fight.
We got through the first full day. The sun came up and then it set of Donald Trump's second term. And while much of the chaos and the dysfunction of this administration might look like incompetence as we go through the next 4 years, I think it's important to understand that this is often part of a deliberate strategy. And that is how I want to start the show today. A multi-time guest on this program, calls this engineered incompetence, which she defines as a point.
Welcome to the realm of endless chaos. Now is your time to think, Rover. What is the right path to take?
Prioritize loyalty for expertise, and that is exactly the strategy Trump is using.
Oh, you found us already.
Of authoritarian regimes, and it was also evident during Donald Trump's first term. Let's talk about the first term first, and then we'll talk about the second. Think back.
shake and shiver. Blink an eye, a flock of lambs passing by. Seems the quiet, black, red. Who's this? Watch out. Your pioneers are lying at your feet. Don't look back. Join them on this right path, and I've got a scorchingly delightful welcome for you up ahead.
Completely dismantled environmental regulations rather than protecting the environment, which is one of the responsibilities in that
Don't rush. One slip and you'll shatter to pieces.
We'll improvise.
Some brutality. Can't you see? We are kindred spirits after all. Don't be so quick to deny it. Now that I have you here standing before... Tell me, do you want to be the rule-setting shepherd or the rule-breaking black lab? If the same person managed to survive in a realm of humans, would you call them the last one of reason or the sole apostle? Think about it. The shepherd is not the preordained embodiment of truth. Once he is gone for good, black lab, there will be none left to be victims for the treasure.
I shattered Scar's illusion. That should have injured him.
Oh, should I thank you for showing me mercy?
Stay away from her.
But you look at Hitler. Hitler would frequently promote ideological zealots like Himmler to important positions, and the competent professionals are sidelined, and this allows them to retain control.
Didn't you promise to leave me some alone time with Rover?
With one condition. I do hope you haven't let that slip from your mind. Don't let your improvisation trouble others.
Look at you, rushing in to protect your precious, perfect movement. No worry. I know all the do's and don'ts. I don't need you to tell me what to do. Rover, it seems our happy little date must come to an end. But don't forget my sincere reminders. Let me know what you choose. An unexpected gift, an honest and open exchange, or a highly risky gamble.
Legally dubious ideas, but they're reckless and they're
Choice is yours. I know how smart you are. You won't make a hasty decision. We'll meet again in the not-too-distant future.
They're gone. Should we go after them?
What we've been witnessing the last couple of days is a public and historic meltdown of Elon Musk and Tesla.
Scar's resonance abilities appear to involve teleportation and the manipulation of space.
companies.
He trapped me in confinement, and I could only sense that it wasn't far from here. It took me some time to break that barrier. Sorry, Rover. If only I could have reached you sooner.
We also have this kind of headline of how the roots of the PayPal mafia extend to apartheid South Africa. And you have this, Elon Musk call for Germany to move beyond mustache party guilt is dangerous. And that's coming from the Holocaust Memorial Chair. And I'll try to break down everything as best I can so you
Why are you here, little one?
First, we don't understand when they're talking about PayPal mafia things.
I've never seen any tacit Discord display such vivid emotions. The brother it mentioned. Could it be... Yes, that is a possibility. Since Scar had been here before, let's talk about it later. Rover, can you fill me in on what happened? It seems all the tragedies in Tea Tree Village were linked to that ritual. Making up stories based on real life to support his twisted beliefs? That does sound like something he might do. We cannot take his words for granted. Now, we must locate where the ritual took place and see for ourselves.
They're actually from South Africa, and essentially they were forming PayPal together.
What's the matter?
They split, but they do maintain ties, and then now what's happening is those same group of people that
Two distinct frequencies of tacit discord. I see. I can feel it in the streams. Over there.
Just a few hours,
Follow me.
I've been noticing
In
nonstop
the south.
politics in Germany, which is pretty insane, because essentially before, you might refer to someone as being, metaphorically part of that mustache party.
They are unharmed, please rest assured. As you anticipated, Scar did not try to kill them. Yes, I stayed out of it like you asked.
Your brand, and the reason why you have to talk about the brand
Is everything all right on your end?
Musk's influence is based on his wealth.
Please be
right?
sure to stay
So,
safe, my lady.
Hey, I'm a wealthy person. Then people say, oh, you're a wealthy person, therefore you must be a genius.
Rover, do you still have the plaque we found earlier? The one broken in half. Yes, as I thought. I just felt a similar vibration from that direction.
Other people are like,
Please
okay,
follow me.
Well, I've heard about you, you're famous, these kind of stuff, and he hypes himself up in his companies, and so part of what is the attractiveness of, say, Musk and Trump is they're really good at marketing hype. That's their talent. They're really good at marketing hype, but it's all in the bubble. One of the things that Musk